from you. And when we come back, how is the heat affecting our mental health? Dr. Janine Hubbard will discuss next in Get Psyched. Welcome back to First Edition. Well, most of the province has been experiencing an amount of heat and humidity recently. Do you love it? Are you eager for the cooler weather to come back? Do you think it has impacted your mood or your behavior? Well, in tonight's edition of Get Psyched with Dr. Janine, we're going to talk about the psychological impact of all this hot, humid weather and what it can have on us. Well, joining us now is Dr. Janine Hubbard. It's great to see you again. You look very cool.
Well, listen, the air conditioning in here is a lovely reprieve.
So what type of impact can a heat wave have on us psychologically?
It's amazing the research that has been done on this. And I should clarify, what we're talking about is places that aren't used to or accustomed to having a certain level of heat, that all of a sudden are experiencing unusual levels of heat, like Newfoundland and Labrador, where we don't have the infrastructure and the air conditioning and a lot of the things that are in place in other spots that do have these temperatures more often. So the research, like I say, shows we see increases in irritation and anger and violence. Irritability for sure, physical fatigue, mental fatigue, increases in anxiety and depression. And really we've found that it seems to be tied to two main things. I think we've all collectively been experiencing a lack of sleep. That's obviously going to have an impact on all of those things we just talked about. But there's also a relationship between heat and serotonin, which is one of the neurotransmitters we've talked about before, but it helps regulate our mood, particularly things like keeping our temper and our irritability and our anger under control. This is why we see things like, I was saying, driving home the other night, the number of fender benders and subsequent road rage. People inattentive, little groggy, a little sleep deprived, and then not tolerating frustration very well.
So why? Why does the heat, humidity have such a large impact on us, and what can we do to feel better?
Well, like I say, for a lot of us, it's lack of infrastructure. Some people love it, and listen, that's fantastic. And most of us really enjoy it as a novelty, but at a certain point, when it starts interfering with daily functioning in some of the ways that I was just talking about, that's where it becomes more problematic, particularly if perhaps you're someone with a pre-existing mental health issue. We know that it can definitely increase some of your symptoms. So again, the more you can take care of your sleep, lots of strategies there, down in the basement, go into a friend's place, anything you can do to try to increase the amount of sleep you're getting. Kind of like our people who enjoy it. Listen, embrace it. Use it as a good excuse to go to the beach, to go swimming, to go see a movie, to maybe go someplace that you don't normally go that's air conditioned. But embrace it in a let's make the best of this. And then keeping in mind, along with it, we also tend to increase things like our consumption of alcoholic beverages to cool off. We're often not as hungry, or we're, existing on ice cream as opposed to our lovely high protein, well-balanced meals. So look at that lifestyle, look at some of those pieces and try to make sure, again, if you're used to exercising at a time where you can't do it right now, look at shifting your schedule. So all of those self-care activities are going to be really important. And as always, perspective is key. We were grumbling about January a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be grumbling about the snow in the not too distant future. Take care of yourself, be proactive, take control so that this heat doesn't affect you as much if you're finding the negative effects. And like I say, embrace it, find some fun with it.
Absolutely. I love it and hate it at the same time, but I kind of love it more.
I'm with you.
All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thanks, Tony.